Hey guys and girls, my name is Alan and welcome to today's gameplay commentary. So I hope you're having a good Saturday so far.
You can trust me. Probably.
I'll hedge my bets. Once again, I have some Uncharted 4 multiplayer footage for you to enjoy, and today we're returning to the game mode Plunder, and I'm using my girl Chloe obviously. And as you can see, I'm switching things up a little bit again and trying out, well, not necessarily trying out in this game, but featuring a different weapon, because believe it or not, a lot of my games, and I'd say maybe 70% of the games on my hard drive feature the HS39, which, don't get me wrong, it's obviously it's a very good weapon, which is why I use it a lot and I get a lot of really good gameplays with it. But as I said, I think in the previous video, I try and mix it up a little bit, you know, to show you different weapons you might not have seen so often, just to show that I can use some of these weapons. Just because I don't use them doesn't mean I can't use them, and sometimes I can get some pretty good gameplays with them. And I think this is obviously towards the start of when the game, well, this is when the weapon first came out, which is why I was using it, and I really regret not posting a lot of this footage like closer to the time. I mean, obviously if you haven't seen it, it's still technically new to you, but the appeal of watching Uncharted 4 now is not the same as it was when the stuff first dropped. And I don't know, I guess I'm sort of trying to get better at doing it. I keep saying it, but for sure with Fortnite at the moment, I'm a lot more on point with posting videos and stuff like that, and some of it is legacy footage, granted, but I am using some footage from my Twitch streams, and obviously I'm streaming as well, so you get to see some of it live straight away, and they're constantly updating the game, so I guess it's a good learning tool for me. And I don't know how long I'm going to keep playing Fortnite for, but it's been like 9 months now since I first started playing it. It came out I think in July, but then the Battle Royale mode came out a couple of months later or something like that. And I didn't jump on until about October. Is when I first started playing it. End of October. I just didn't remember the thereabouts. So I've been playing for nearly 9 months now, which is crazy. And I'm still hitting the game pretty hard. Like, not as hard as I did when I first started, but I'm still putting in some decent sessions every now and then, and playing it most days. And it is my go-to multiplayer game. And I guess that's the main reason why I'm still playing the game so regularly, is because I need, as I keep saying, a new competitive shooter in my life, and at the moment it is Fortnite. I don't think there are any games coming out between now and Call of Duty Black Ops 4 that are really going to appeal to me in terms of being a multiplayer game. I could return to some of the old Call of Duties, I could return to Uncharted 4, but when Uncharted 4 first came out, I bashed that game solidly for the first year, easily, and the same with Black Ops 3. I did that for pretty much all of the first year that Black Ops 3 was out, and that's the way I play the games. Like, I play it like pretty much non-stop until I get so bored of it, or until another game comes out, and that generally means a 1-year cycle. Now with Fortnite it's a little bit different because they are constantly adding stuff to the game, which is why I keep getting drawn back into it. But the other reason, and I think I've talked about this in the past, is that I'm not 100% at that game yet. I don't know if I'd ever be 100% at that game, but that's the other reason why I keep coming back to it, because I know that I'm nowhere near as good as I potentially could be. I mean, if I ever get to that point, I don't know. Will I even want to get to that point? Will I even still be playing that game at that point? I don't know. But as it, because I know I'm not 100% yet at that game, that's what keeps drawing me back. There are so many areas I need to work on in that game, and it's weird because, as I said, I've been playing for 9 months now, and if it had been any other game, I'd be pretty damn good at it by now. It doesn't usually take me that long to pick something up. But for some reason Fortnite is just one of those games, and there's quite a few things, and I suppose this is not really the video to talk about it, but because I played Uncharted for so long, it's not like I'm not familiar with the over the shoulder third person view sort of game. I've been playing these games for a long time, so that bit doesn't throw me. But things like, I'm not very good at building. I panic build, sometimes I don't build very well. I hate getting into build fights, and I understand that that's part of the game, so I'm not really gonna bash it for that. But I'm just not very good at it, and obviously it's a big aspect of the game. And then the other bit is the shooting mechanics are still weird. They're trying to improve it all the time, but I can't get to grips with it. Like the recoil pattern and stuff like that, I don't get it. The bloom is just so weird for so many different weapons, and it just throws me. Just for example, let's take the Scar. I fire one clip at an enemy, I can get bloom and hit nothing for the entire clip. In another situation, I will fire the clip and the first 4 bullets will land 100% accuracy, and I just can't get it down pat, and I don't understand. And I don't think, until they change the system, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to really shoot accurately in that game, and that really annoys me. And then the other part obviously is the fact that you can't swap shoulders, which is bizarre. Like, for a game, as I said, that's over the shoulder third person, I can't understand why there isn't shoulder swapping. And it's, as I said, this game's been out for almost a year now, and they still haven't added it yet. And I don't think they probably will add it at this point if it's been that long. However, for it to be fair for everyone who's in a gunfight, you do need to have shoulder swapping, otherwise you have a distinct advantage when you're pushing to the right rather than when you're pushing to the left, because as I said, you can't swap shoulders. But anyway, I will stop talking about Fortnite now, because I wasn't actually planning to talk about it this much in this gameplay, because obviously it's Uncharted 4, even though I haven't got Uncharted 4 topics to talk about per se, I don't want to make this obviously Fortnite related, because I do have specific Fortnite gameplay to talk about Fortnite stuff. But yeah, so the main point that I was trying to allude to in this video, and it's taken me this long to get to it, is that I'm basically waiting for the next multiplayer game that I'm going to get stuck into. And at this point, it looks as though it probably will be Black Ops 4. There are a few single player games that's coming out later this year, and obviously next year as well. And those obviously will, be fun to play, but they're not going to keep my attention for nearly as long as a multiplayer game. And so that leads me on to my next topic, and that is the subject of E3 2018, which has finished as of today, I do believe. But I'm still catching up on all the footage, and I'm trying to work my way through all the main presentations first, but I'm still missing a few of them. I will catch up eventually. But the reason why it takes me so long is because I do make notes, and I'm planning to talk about not necessarily every single presentation in detail, but sort of gloss over them and just give you my summary version. Not necessarily, well, no, not even a summary version, just give you my thoughts and opinions on how it went down and what I perceived of the presentations. So we're going to kick things off with EA. They went first, and if I'm quite honest with you, it was pretty boring. I mean, the usual stuff was there, sport games, FIFA, Madden. They spent quite a lot of time actually on Madden, which, I mean, I don't know, is it even popular outside of the US? I'm not really sure. I think there's a basketball game as well, which, I mean, FIFA, obviously EA make a lot of the sport games, and I don't really play sport games, so none of that really interests me, but it's the same stuff every year. There's going to be another FIFA game, there's going to be another Madden game, there's going to be another, I think, NBA Live or something they call it. There's going to be one of those every single year, so it's just there, right? You don't even need to think about it. EA, they're going to have those sort of things. And a bit of a weird thing as well, they had this like really long section for Command & Conquer, but it was a mobile game. I mean, I don't know, it just seemed a bit weird, and they tried to introduce it as for the next generation of gamers. Yeah, as if we're all playing, well, okay, there's a lot of people playing on mobile, but they could have made like another Command & Conquer game, or they could have just given it like a short trailer or something, but they had like this whole segment of these two players playing it, and then someone trying to like shoutcast it, and it was a little bit weird. Like as I said, it's for a game that is originally a PC game, and they spent this long on a mobile game, and people don't really like mobile games anyway, not really. I know they sort of get a bad reputation as being a casual gamer, but that's kind of not the point, because this obviously, as I said, this game originated on PC first, so the fact that they spent so long on it and it wasn't even on PC, it was just this weird mobile game. By the way, I'm not doing this in chronological order, I'm just doing it as I remember it. There was a section where somebody from Battlefront 2 came out, and they openly admitted they made mistakes when the game first launched, and they spent all these months trying to fix it, and how they put in a new progression system, and they removed all like the pay to win stuff, which is good. It's a step in the right direction. It might be a bit too late. I mean, I kind of enjoyed the beta, but I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, and I don't know, I couldn't see myself playing that game like indefinitely, maybe because of the progression system, maybe because I'm not a big fan. I don't know, there's just several reasons why I wouldn't really get. I mean, put it this way, I still haven't even played Battlefield 1 that much, and that's probably more in line with what actually, I could play that, I could return to Battlefield 1, couldn't I? I think I might have to do that before Black Ops 4 comes out. I definitely haven't got my money's worth from that game yet. I mean, I did the campaign, posted a walkthrough to my players channel and everything, but haven't actually played that much of the multiplayer. I did play some of it, but again, it's not really a game that I could really play for hours and hours at a time, and I don't know, I don't know, maybe I just need to give it a shot. Anyway, that also leads me nicely onto the next game, and so that's Battlefield 5, and it is actually set in World War II. So it's not, as the rumours were saying, a code name for Battlefield Vietnam, which I was looking forward to, but I think logically it makes sense to go in this order. So Battlefield 1, obviously they've got the settings. All they really need to do is change a few of the skins, some of the weapons, some of the locations that you're fighting in, and it makes sense to turn it into Battlefield World War II. So, I mean, it's kind of cool that they're doing that. I mean, they've added a few new mechanics, like you can crawl on your back, you can drag your teammates to safety while you pick them up, that sort of thing. But in terms of the core gameplay, I think it's fundamentally very similar to Battlefield 1, as it's just different weapons, different vehicles, different locations. In terms of the campaign, Battlefield 1 focused on like small elements of the war, so they took like personal stories from people, or certain sections of the war, and turned them into experiences in the game, and that was their campaign. So not like a start to finish, like you follow one character, you do segments, and each person has their own story to tell, which I thought was kind of cool. It was a bit novel, it wasn't what I was expecting, and some of the missions were a bit shorter than I would have liked, but it was a nice different pace to what you'd expect from a normal game. And I guess because Battlefield have never really been good at storytelling, I remember playing Battlefield 3 and that campaign was dull. dull as hell. I haven't played 4 yet, but I think they did okay with Battlefield 1, and if they expand on that for Battlefield 5, I think that's probably a good, I mean, they're doing their own thing, and that's fine, and I think it seems to work for them. And of course, you've probably already heard this, but just on off chance you haven't, Battlefield did announce a Battle Royale mode, surprising absolutely nobody except maybe my mum. And so that's going to be really fun to try, I think. Obviously, they have huge maps already. They have a variety of vehicles and a variety of weapons. And I think it's going to be really cool to try that out. And of course, it's going to be set, I'm assuming, in the World War II era. So that's going to be different to some of the other games. Obviously, Black Ops 4 is going to be doing their own thing. And of course, we've got Fortnite, which is cartoony. So yeah, I can't not mention PUBG in the same breath, of course. But yeah, it's going to be fun to see that in action. And I don't know if I'll get it at launch, but it's definitely a game that I'm interested to try out. And the other piece of news that they sort of dropped is that there's going to be like no premium pass, there's going to be no loot boxes, there's going to be like no paid to win stuff whatsoever in the new Battlefield game, and it's all going to be just cosmetics. I think that's a really good decision. It's a step in the right direction for sure, and hopefully other companies will follow suit. It definitely earns some brownie points, obviously, and being able to, you know, get all the game modes and the maps for free means that you'd have to split off from your mates, and that's one of the things that really bugs me about games that have DLC. I don't care so much that they have the DLC, but then there's always someone who doesn't have it, namely me. So yeah, that's definitely a good thing, and I'll be interested to see how that works out for other games going forward as well. And that sort of seemed to be a theme for the EA press conference, is that they were really keen to emphasize that they had no pay to win stuff in their games now. And obviously we don't know how long that's going to last for or what the trend will be going forward, but it's definitely a step in the right direction, as I said, and it earns brownie points from the community, and of course it just means that I'm more likely, not necessarily going to, but more likely to buy a game from them because I know there's no pay to win bullshit. And then of course, to throw into the mix, there were a few indie games which I wasn't really that intrigued by. I mean, Unravel 2, if you play the first one, then you might be excited to know the second one's out. And then the final thing is Anthem. Anthem, of course, is the new project from BioWare, the company who made Mass Effect. Now, obviously, they sort of left Mass Effect and they palmed it off onto another studio to continue the franchise, and they did a terrible job, by the way. So this is the OG studio that made all the other games. And of course they make Dragon Age as well, which is, they're renowned for their storytelling and stuff. So Anthem is, I get a sense it's sort of like a Destiny meets Titanfall game, because obviously you wear suits which give you like abilities like Titanfall, but on a smaller scale obviously. And then you've got like the home world, which reminds me of Destiny, and then you go off and you do quests in like this big open world which you can explore together all by yourself, which again it reminds me of Destiny. But yeah, I mean it's going to be an interesting sort of game. I think whether or not I'll enjoy it, I don't know. I don't really play that much Destiny. That's another game I could get into, to be fair. I definitely haven't got my money's worth from that yet. Still need to complete the walkthrough for my players channel. Don't know when that's going to happen, if ever. But yeah, so that was the EA presentation. Quick summary, quick thoughts from myself, and I'll be doing all the others as well. Probably I'll mix some into the same video, because of this video, obviously the first half I sort of went off on a bit of a tangent, so I do apologise for that. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed the rest of the video. If you did, consider tapping that like button, I really do appreciate it. And as always, if you've got any thoughts, let's share. If you've got any other thoughts about today, any of the gameplay you've seen, do let me know in the comment section below. But until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, take care, and I will see you later.
Target is down. Knocked one out.
They want to see them suffer.
We scored an idol.
Oh man, you don't look so good.
Going out.
I'm grateful.
Feel sorry for you. Put one down. Target is down.
Thank you. Have some gear.
Maintain control of that idol.
Comes you.
Normally I dislike sharing. Gotta keep up.
You didn't do that alone, you know.
It wasn't so bad, was it? They barely put up a fight.
always hard to breathe.